Hi everyone, welcome again to my channel. This is video number 2. Officially, we're in the new year. It is officially 2025. And before this year started, I saw that some people had posted some stuff on Instagram saying that year 2025 started exactly like 2020, where it starts with WTF. Although I'm not claiming that for this year, but quite frankly, the way that this new year has hit me immediately, I'm like, oh Jesus, what's going on? Um, so yeah, I know I spoke in my last video a lot about how excited I am for this year and everything else, and how grateful I was for last year. And quite frankly, I'm still excited and I'm still grateful, even despite being hit by a freaking freight train within the first couple of days of the new year starting. So last year I had a goal that I had to set. And some things happened and I was like, okay, cool, I just have to recover from this. So I had a goal and I've been working towards that goal for months, for about 3 months. And this goal was supposed to be completed as of the 1st. And literally right before the finish line, I tripped. Right before the finish line, I tripped. Right before the finish line, something happened. I tripped. And at first, I, reached out to these people and I was like, hey, am I still good? This happened, but I still did everything. All I did was miss this one thing, yada, yada, yada. And at first, they were like, yeah, no, you're good. You're fine. Congratulations. You're still on the right track, yada, yada, yada. Only to get notification a couple days later, saying that no, in fact, I had not. I was completely disqualified. And now I have to start all over again, this time in a worse position, and somehow work again for the next couple of months towards this goal that I had, that I tripped over right before finishing. And to say that I am just like, I wouldn't say in the right headspace, because, when I first found out, after working so hard for something for months, and then to find out after tripping right before the finish line, like, has anyone ever done that? Literally right before you're about to cross the finish line, you trip. One little thing that's like not even your fault, you trip and it's on you, and then all of your work just goes up in flames. Now, when I first found out, like, I told my friend and she wanted to hug me, and I was like, honestly, sweetheart, I don't want to hug. I want to fight somebody. I am mad. I am PO'd. I cannot believe all the work and all the sacrifice that I just put in for this. And I'm disqualified right at the end. Not even 2 days left, right at the end. And that is when I'm disqualified. Oh my gosh. So to say that I just was not like in the best headspace is completely correct. Like I was fuming. I was mad. I was crying because I'd worked so hard, and I was telling my friend, I was just like, honestly, I'm gonna quit. I don't know how I'm gonna survive again this time. I don't know how I'm supposed to do this again. I did everything that I was supposed to do. I made all the sacrifices. I pushed through. How am I supposed to do this again? And now in a worse position than I was, and still somehow come out on the other side. I have no idea. So yeah. And I was just trying to figure out what I was going to do, because I spoke about all the plans that I made. Well, not all the plans that I made, but like, I made plans. I didn't say anything about those plans, obviously, because, sometimes you can't really say things. But it was just more so that, I don't know, there was like a little bit of shame attached, because I'm like talking very big about this year And here I am failing right after starting. And one thing I did talk about in my last video is that I sorry, excuse me. I talked about the purpose of failing. And to fail right before finishing is just, it is a mighty blow. I definitely felt like laying my hands on some things. But you know what? It just wasn't, it wasn't worth it. But what I will say though is, it's okay. It's a learning process. So last night, and I'm actually going to try to make this quick because this is still so new to me and this is such a learning process. And at this point in time, no one's really watching my videos, which is fine because, you know, we're progress over perfection. So I'm going to learn some things along the way. And you guys, whoever is watching is going to be with me. And that is more than enough. But yeah. So last night I had a really, really bad headache. So, you know, I ended up going to bed early. I had work the next day. And if you go to bed early, you end up, you know, waking up early, which I was not happy about because I woke up and I was like, sir, what time is it, Jesus? I definitely, these people could call me and what time is it? I should not be up at this time right now, but I had already gotten all my sleeping done for that period of time, and my body was like, all right, cool, your headache is gone for right now, or we're awake right now, and you might as well make yourself useful. And I get distracted a little bit, so I had to make sure I turned everything off, and I just decided that it was a really good time to journal, because quite frankly, for your mental and emotional health, one of the best things that you can do sometimes is just to write everything out. And when I was writing a lot about my fears. And I think that this video is gone now, but I am a person that it took me a while to come to this point of saying what my fears are. Now, living in those fears and still being afraid of those fears and still acting in fear of those fears is a completely other thing. However, lying about your fears is just not really necessary. Sometimes, or at least what I've learned in my life, is that if I can turning around and facing a fear or like naming it is actually helpful in the process of facing your fears. Because sometimes you try so hard to like be tough and be this, that, and the other, instead of just saying, I'm afraid of this thing happening and I don't know how this is going to work, but I'm afraid and this is what it is. And at least for me, it was really helpful because then I could start formulating a plan or trying to understand it or how to actually defeat it. So I actually wrote everything down. I wrote everything about how I was afraid, how angry I was, how distraught I was, like how just to be so close. Like to if anyone has ever been an athlete before, like I've been an athlete before in my life. I was never like a high intensity athlete or anything like that. I used to be on a track team when I was younger, and I was not even a runner. I was one of the ladies in the field that would throw things. So I weightlifted. I have some muscle, right? It may not look like it as much anymore, but I have some muscle, and I could throw things. And but even then, like, you still understand competing and to be so close and yet so far, to almost win and then lose, to let's say it's like in the form of discus, right? If you're about to win, you're about to do something really great. Like I would do my spins and I'm like about to make this massive throw, and then my foot goes over the line, or my foot goes out of the side of the circle, or my foot goes over. Or if I'm throwing javelin, your foot goes over. To be right there and to trip right at the finish, to DQ right there is frustrating. To be disqualified on a technicality it's to be right there right there. You're literally about to, like, you push through. You've done everything you were supposed to do. You followed every rule, and you slip right at the end. Oh, that is just God. Sorry, I kind of repositioned myself a little bit. But yeah, to be so close and so far is just frustrating. So when things happen in life, I could take one of two avenues, right? And one of those avenues I still might like bounce in and out of periodically, because I have feelings and I'm human and it's frustrating, and quite frankly I'm a little pissy. But maybe I should move this. Hold on. This is working. Nice. All right. Sorry, I kind of had to reposition myself a little bit. I just didn't feel like laying down. You can see my afro. Anyway, so I could take like one of two avenues. I could completely give up, which I actually told my friend. I was just like, honestly, I'm just gonna give up. I'm done with this. I don't know how I'm supposed to do this again and not have anything count against me. And I don't know how I'm supposed to do this a second time. And she, as amazing as she is, told me not to give up and all this other stuff, because my friend is legitimately just an amazing person, and I'm profoundly grateful to have her in my life. But also the other part is just, take your feelings, learn from them, learn what you could do better. And even if you did everything right the first time, you're right at the end. Just finish this time. Just finish. And I've decided to take the second option. But it also means that I would have to make some changes and make some decisions, because I had a lot of plans, and only to realize that some of those plans may not either pan out as much as I thought that they would, or they might go in different directions, or other things may happen entirely, and I just have to accept it and be okay with it, because quite frankly, I have no choice but to accept. Me being profoundly angry about things, it's which is fine, because I'm angry. Or me being angry about things is perfectly okay, because it's human. Something happens, you're frustrated, you have every right to your emotions. It's just what you decide to do with those emotions is where the question lies, and what is the outcome of those emotions. And in this case, just kind of let my anger out. I cried it out, and while I was journaling last night, I ended up seeing this video online. And I'm not necessarily like a religious person. I did grow up in like a Christian household, but personally at this point in my life, I'm not really religious. I do have beliefs, but not religious. But it was this lady, it was this older woman, and I wish I had saved the video on Insta. And she was like inviting whoever into her reading for the day. I think she was doing her daily devotional. And a part of it had to do with like doors opening and closing, right? Like, and in the devotional, I don't remember everything, but, basically, in to sum it up, doors will open for you, doors will close for you. Be as happy when I close doors for you as I am when I open doors for you, because sometimes closing doors for you means that I'm saving you from something, and opening doors for you means that I'm opening up new pathways that you didn't consider, or that would be better for you. That's the gist, because I don't remember everything. And I don't know if that was for me, considering that I was just writing in my journal about what I was going to do if this door closed for me. Not specifically that, but, the gist of that. And I kind of had to sit with that for a good minute, and really consider. Because for me, if I were to somehow quit this or lose this, then I would lose two very important things. And if there was no other reason for this, these two very important things were the standout reasons that I would keep this. Otherwise, I don't know, I didn't know whether or not this would be a positive or a negative. Am I losing this? Am I gaining this? Am I gonna get out on the other side of this, or am I going to fail halfway through? How are my plans? I've made some plans having to do with this thing this year. Are all of those plans down the drain? Do I have to move things up? Do I have to move things back? Do I need to give up entirely? Do I need to keep pushing? Like, there were so many questions, because when things happen to you in life, it's kind of just up to you to roll with the punches and then make a new plan. So, in a sense, I just started making a new plan. But the main fear is that, like, what if I just fail at everything? And I remember talking last year about, like, the purpose of failure and actually learning the purpose of failure. What does this mean for me? What does this mean for me as a person? Am I just failing entirely? Should I just go and duck down and cry under my bed for days and hope that nothing bad happens? What am I doing with this? Or is this a learning experience? Or is this something that I need to figure out and change? And what am I doing with this? And that was the recurring question. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do if I lose this? What am I going to do? So the question, the answer to that is that I don't know. I don't know at all. If I were to lose this, I have no idea what I'm going to do after. I just don't know. I hadn't had time to plan for the possibility. And to put this in in perspective, this is not a problem area for me. This has never been a problem area for me. Like, I know everyone has their issues somewhere, but this was not a place where I had issues. I am usually very much on top of things. So to be in this place of wondering, and I had never been in a place of wondering in this particular area of my life, because I had just always been on it, always on top of it, not making mistakes. And here I am making these mistakes that I can't even explain, making these mistakes that I've reached out to someone that I trusted and they gave me bad information and then lied about said information, so that makes me look even worse. And now I was about to cross the finish line on something related to this, and then I trip. I feel like hopelessness is thy name right now, but that is also a lie. So we're going to talk about the after, okay? All right, so what to do in spaces like this. And I know I'm not being specific because I do actually want to keep some form of my privacy. First thing that you can do is that you can remember. One. Or actually, you know what? First thing you can do is be grateful. One, you could be grateful that things happen the way that they happen. Because while this is not an area in my life that I usually have problems with, something must be happening that maybe is meant to push me in a different direction. And I can only hope that this will be a better direction for me in my life and for my purpose and what I'm meant to do actually in this life versus what I'm currently doing. So, yeah, there's one thing. 2, revealing snakes. Like, I know that everyone says that they're snakes. You never really know who's chameleons or wolves in sheep's clothing. For me, in a sense, I like to think people more are like chameleons than anything else. Because a lot of people like to blend in and pretend and pretend and pretend until they no longer have to pretend or until they're forced to actually reveal their true colors. And in this case, as frustrating as it was to trust people and for it to be revealed their actual, like who they actually were and how they would throw me under the bus in a heartbeat if it meant saving themselves, even if they were the ones that were lying. I'm glad that they're not in a space with me anymore where I could have continued to trust them instead of knowing who they actually were. So there's that. So it's as much as it sucks to have someone that's not really in your corner, that's pretending to be in your corner, revealed, it's just, that's worth its weight in gold. Because you really never know how many people are secretly attacking you until they have to do it in your face. And then you get to make different decisions after. So that's 2. What I've learned, right? Coming back to learning the purpose of failure and why you fail and why things happen. I'll never necessarily know why things happen the way that they happen. I can only live in the current moment and let things unfold. But in every single situation, if you were to take all of your emotions out of it, or even if you had some emotions in it, right? I remember I was watching something Kobe Bryant related. Or no, it was Kobe Bryant related. It was actually a video of him. I'm not sure why I say related. Crazy girl. But it's like when you have these emotions, you could recognize it, give it a hug, and keep walking. So recognizing it, giving it a hug, it's there, and you have every right to those emotions, but don't lose your shit, That was 3, I think 4. Seeing the people who are actually in your corner. Being grateful for those people, because for me, I'm not a person that likes to ask for help. I don't like asking for help at all. I am very much a very self-sufficient, do-it-yourself type person. And to be in this place of having to ask for help and to have people reveal more of themselves and how much they actually care about you and how much they're willing to do for you and sacrifice for you. And I'm a firm believer in reciprocity. If someone does help me, I'm like, if I'm good, you're good. So to have people on one side reveal how much they were not actually in your corner, and then on the other side reveal how much they actually are in your corner and continue to be in your corner, and will even take higher places in your corner to make sure that you know that they're there, is a blessing in itself. Like, if there was nothing else to come out of this, just to have people that you know and trust in your corner who will take on more even without you asking, that is a blessing that I am profoundly grateful for. I think that was number 4. Number 5 is remembering. Because this is not a place in my life where I usually fail, this feels like uncharted territory for me. Because I don't fail in this area of my life, and it's just because of the way that I am. I've always been a person who would take care of themselves. I'm not a person who likes to ask. I am not a person that likes to lean on people. And this is all like a lot of growth for me, from having to lean on people and having people reveal themselves as like, you can lean on me, which is amazing. but also having to actually ask. And I've had to ask and I hate it. But to be in this place of remembering, because despite what's happening in my life, I still am who I am. I still got it. I'm still magical. I'm still it. I still have all of these qualities that I had before this weird amount of incidents happened that I can't even necessarily explain. I'm still who I say that I am. I am still the track record that I show. I am still everything that I am. And even then, tomorrow I could make a new decision, or today I could make a different decision. And if I continue to show up and do and make that decision that is good for me, then I'm going to be that too. So remembering that despite everything that's happened in my life, and I've had a lot of things happen, I have survived every single horrible day. I have survived every day that I thought I wasn't going to make it. I have survived every single failure. I have survived every single rejection. I have survived every single hurt, every injury, every pain, every betrayal, every lie, every snake, every chameleon, every wolf in sheep's clothing. I have survived every single loss. I have survived sickness. I have survived lies and deceit and backstabbing. I have survived me and all of my horrible decisions when I've made those horrible decisions. I am a survivor. Why am I talking like this? But I'm also thriving. And that's something to remember. And because of how I survived and how I've thrived, I've also learned about just how resourceful I am. Because despite me being in my feelings about something that's happened, my brain was already like, all right, cool, what are we doing now? At the end of the day, our prime is you. And we're going to survive and we're going to thrive through this. And we might cry about it later, but at the end of the day, if you survive, we survive. So we're going to start making a plan. And even though it was all in my feelings, I was already making a plan. So, to anyone out there that's seeing this that secretly doesn't like me, I don't care. You don't matter. To anyone out there who's watching this and you're in my corner, God bless you. I love you. I care about you. And I'm grateful for you, sincerely. But to me, I am grateful for you. I'm grateful for how you've survived. I'm grateful for how you've thrived. I'm grateful for your belief that is learning and growing. I am grateful for every single fight that you won that you don't even think that you won. And if you're a hater and you think you got tea on me, you drinking piss. But yeah, that's it. So keep going out there, keep showing up, keep making plans, and when shit happens, remake those plans and make them work for you. Because at the end of the day, you are your best investment. You are prime. You are everything. So keep showing up for you even when stuff looks like you just won't survive. If you still living and you still breathing and you still waking up tomorrow, you survived. It may be crappy for a little minute. And honestly, it could be crappy because I could be crying on here in like a month for either a good or a bad reason. But either way, I'm going to be good. Because like a year from now, everything could be different. Or 6 months from now, it could be different. And also be open to things that you may not realize may be for you. Because the stuff that you want and the stuff that's for you may be vastly different. And sometimes you end up having to lose a lot of things to get the things that are actually for you. But that's it. Okay, bye.